One noisy place I have been to is a football stadium in Hanoi. Its name is Luyện National Stadium. Last year, I went there with my friends to watch a match between the Vietnamese national team and another team. The stadium was extremely crowded, with thousands of fans shouting, clapping, and blowing trumpets. People waved flags and sang songs loudly to support the players. At first, I felt a bit uncomfortable because of the noise, but later, I got used to it and actually enjoyed the exciting atmosphere. The noise made the match more emotional, and when Vietnam scored a goal, the sound was so loud that I could hardly hear my own voice. Even though it was noisy, it was a memorable experience because I could feel the passion and unity of the fans.
Do you think it is good for children to make noise?
I don't think it is always good for children to make noise, but sometimes it can be natural and even positive. On the one hand, making noise often shows that children are active, curious, and happy. For example, when they play or laugh loudly, it can mean they are enjoying themselves and expressing their emotions freely. On the other hand, too much noise can be disturbing, especially in public places like libraries, hospitals, or even at home when others need to concentrate. So overall, a little noise is fine because it reflects their energy and creativity. But children should also learn when and where it is appropriate to stay quiet. This balance can help them grow into more considerate individuals.
Should children not be allowed to make noise under any circumstances?
I don't think children should be completely banned from making noise in every circumstance. Noise is a natural part of their development, and it shows their energy, curiosity, and happiness. However, children also need to learn when and where it is appropriate. In places like hospitals, libraries, or during important events, too much noise can disturb other people. So, instead of stopping them completely, I think it's better to guide children to understand the difference between noisy playtime and situations where they should stay quiet. This way, they can enjoy their childhood while also respecting others.
What kinds of noises are there in our life?
There are many different kinds of noises in our daily life. For example, in cities we often hear traffic noise from cars, motorbikes, and buses. At home, there are household noises like televisions, music, or people talking. In nature, we can hear birds singing, dogs barking, or the sound of the wind and rain. Sometimes noise can be pleasant, like laughter or music, but other times it can be disturbing, like construction work or loud engines.
Which area is exposed to noise more? The city or the countryside?
I think the city is definitely more exposed to noise than the countryside. In urban areas, there are constant sounds from traffic, construction sites, factories, and crowded public places. Even at night, the city is rarely completely quiet because of vehicles and nightlife activities. On the other hand, the countryside is generally much quieter. People mainly hear natural sounds, like birds chirping, dogs barking, or the wind blowing through the trees. Of course, during festivals or farming seasons, the countryside can also be noisy, but it's temporary and not as overwhelming as in the city.
How would people usually respond to noises in your country?
In my country, people respond to noises in different ways depending on the situation. For example, in the city, many people are used to traffic or construction noise, so they just try to ignore it. Some even wear headphones or earplugs to block the sound. However, if the noise comes from neighbors, like loud music or karaoke at night, people often complain directly or report it to the local authority because it disturbs their daily life. In the countryside, people are usually more tolerant, since noises often come from farming activities or festivals, which are part of the community's culture.
How can people consider others' feelings when chatting in public?
People can consider others' feelings when chatting in public by being mindful of their volume and behavior. For example, They should avoid speaking too loudly on the phone or laughing excessively in quiet places like buses, libraries, or hospitals. It's also polite not to talk about very personal or sensitive topics in public, because it might make others uncomfortable.